Yeah, so now we'll start with the room database. Now the thing is, I want to add one more table, and the idea is only for favorites. I will save information. Now this is the object, and I have to create one in the DB for this. So I put all my requirements in this in Gemini API, and I have finalized a solution. So firstly, now here not necessary. Okay, it's a singleton component anyways, so you have to put singleton. Cool. So I should have kept it here. Never mind. Okay, wait. Where is the table? I just pasted that here and it gave it to me. These type converters I have to add. Now wait. is what? Hmm. Function variable constant parameter. I think they should be. How will I take in this is wine pairing? Nutrition wine pairing. Eh? I have I think list type converter. I'll delete it. Wait. Let me just finish importing. So okay. I can't do inject. I have to provide. All right. That's this is specific to the response, right? So okay. Mm. but I have a list. Hmm. Type is inferred, not necessary. Why do I need list? For list, I need it like this. Why? Okay, not able to infer the type. Okay, never mind. Not editing this too much. I know what it does, so it's alright. Uh, you don't need these type converters now. Here, right? Uh, Database requires a separate file. There was I need a DAO for this. So, ये वो कहाँ गया? No, no. Forgot to add that class here. Should I keep? This is good. Like I like the idea that there is a good amount of documentation. Should I add it to the others as well? Mm, okay. Uh, This is already insanely huge, man. Fuck. Okay, never mind. Still there is here. So let's start from recipe table where I think ID ensures the query for the recipe and its details is atomic. I'm wasting my time with this. Should just let this be. Anyways, like I don't intend on using most of these functions and recipe data. Okay, I'm pretty sure I'm missing something, but I've set up I think I'll just remove a lot of these functions, bro, because it genuinely don't make any sense having so much. Get favorites from recipe by query and tag. Random favorite recipes. It seems. Why is there a flow? Hey, should have flow everywhere. No, why only here? The Room has this feature where it gives you the flow. Return type. Let's just, if this runs, actually means nothing also. Oh, just possible that when I actually write a function, it will probably crash then when I'm accessing it. But I mean, AI makes it so much easier, man. I should have, do you imagine writing all of this would have taken so much time? Okay, this is going to take forever. I'll cut it short and I'll come back with the repo code next. So I've made a few changes. Firstly, so I've added another generic function to uh, like a state for all the where did it go? Wait. Yeah, you can see it here. So this was let me just open it here on data store use cases. Okay, where did it go? Fine. This is more like I showed you. I've added this use UI load state, and whenever I'm like getting the information from like say data store and all, I'm wrapping it up in this. Now why I'm doing this was where did it go? Okay. See, in the main activity here, I'm like I've used splash screen, right? So whenever all this data, I want to load all of this data that I'm storing in settings during the splash screen is on, and when that all of the data is loaded, only then you move on to the app. And this data is your things like say themes. Then there is the onboarding state. Then there is the username. When so what I'm doing here is I'm loading all of that before, and only when it is loaded, then I'm entering the app. Now, how did I achieve this is I initially what I was only I had the direct like theme names and name and all in this. Now I've wrapped up the this thing inside the load state. This load state has like three uh, subclasses, which is success, failure, and loading. So whenever all of this becomes successful, only then I will okay. Only then I will then I'm storing that true or false in this is data ready, just false by default. Now when the function when the app opens, it first fetches the current theme, fetches the onboarding state, and fetches the username, and then it is waiting for result. Now here, when all of the results are successful, only then I'm setting it to true. And this is the condition, like when if one of them is false, this will set it as false and this will stay false, and the app will be waiting. When all of them become successful, that is when the app is ready to load, to go forward, and then all the other things subsequently happen. Now I'm passing like theme and these states in the pages directly wherever I'm using it. So here once it is reached here, ideally what happens is it will generally be success only, but the else generally will not reach, but I have to handle it anyways. So onboarding state, I'm setting it to data and this. So if at all it happens that it reaches here and it's not the data is not there, then the default data will be false and the don't show the onboarding state, there is no username, and by default just load the light thing. Now is data ready is a function which I'm using there also. So when that data is ready, only then this will enter the app. If not, then there is a loading screen, which is like the standard one that I've used everywhere. Okay, now just to this is all for loading that data. Now all the changes I've made is, I'll just go through all of that. So in the use cases, I've added the wrapper. Then that's all this code is. In destinations, I've cleaned it up a little bit. In the landing screen, I've made some modifications. Like you've seen, I'm using a linear progress indicator. I've made it a little brighter, so it looks all right. Loading screen also similarly, I've added linear progress indicator. In the main activity, I showed you all the changes I've made. Now network result, I've added this. In settings, because that also has the same, I was using the same logic, and I've changed it in the main where in the use case I've added a wrapper. So those changes I had to make it in settings also. So this is all that. I've added a mutable state for loading here also. What that does is, like when I'm making a request to change data, it'll show loading, otherwise it'll not show loading, like that. This so fast it'll never happen. It'll never show up usually, but just handling it nonetheless. And yeah, the view model also I made those changes. Welcome stream also I've changed a little bit. Like I'm not a graphics person, so all this should be white and all this all I've generated. So this is the most as of now that I can do. So these are the changes. Next, what I am planning to do is now I will start with the room DB. The idea as of now from the room DB is, firstly, this feature recipes. What I'll do is I'll just make an API call with empty search, and it'll show all those information here. Popular recipes would be favorite recipes, and I have to make a favorites page, which is actually pretty straightforward. It will just fetch the favorites item from the DB, and I've added a toggle there inside the DB to show all of that. And this category is basically what I can do is, this is a very unreliable, never mind. I think I'm having problem with the internet on the phone. Never mind. That's why. Okay, cool. I'll fix that. So yeah, so basically first now I'll do the favorites page. I'll create a very basic UI and I'll show all the information there, and that will help me set up favorites. One issue that I'm having is not exactly an issue, but the problem that I'm kind of thinking about is like the details page has a lot of information. I can store it in my DB, but I feel like only the basic like title, images, and all I'll store. And when I click, I'll make the API call. I should not store all of that, or maybe just store all the favorite ones. So that is my thought process right now. So yeah, that's it. Now let's move on to that. So I made a few changes. Okay, let's go through them. So in the data store DAO, I've added a error check. So this returns empty preferences. In like in all of them, I'm not sure if I'm supposed to throw, like ideally what was recommended was check for IO exceptions, and then if it's not there, then throw exceptions, and when it comes you handle it like that. I don't want to throw exceptions right now, so I just am printing out the error and I'm submitting empty preferences here. Okay, now the next change is in I've accommodated all the changes in the use case as well. Like, so I was not handling error basically here, so I was putting a flow here, so that was not right. I'm wondering if I should do similarly in the REST API, but we'll cross that bridge when we get there. Now, when I have to start for empty search and I have to make few more API calls, gone through the API again, Sponacular, and I'll be hitting a few more of them. So yeah, this also I have removed the flow part like that, and I'm returning this here again. I'm getting the theme name. I'm using map function to convert it to this, and then if you want to see the structure of map, this is how it is. That's 2. It returns a flow of R. The second part, T is the input. So the flow, it maps to us. It returns a flow of R. Right now, this happened, and yeah, that's it. These are the changes I've made. Now I'll move on with the development of one of the things I'm supposed to do. Like I have to do favorites page. First, I think I'll just I've been doing everything but setting up the DB. So maybe I'll do that first. All right. Let's start with that next. Okay, so now that this is sorted, I made a few changes here. I think generated code doesn't work always, so but it gives you a good start. It is still faster than writing all of it by yourself. So I was having some issues with like the type converter wasn't being implemented properly. I'll just show you like I've added it here. I think you know this. I'm going to clean all of this at the end when I'll like when if they're not being used. So yeah, yeah. And this is pretty much how it was. Now, let us start making a repository for this. Now, this is a search repo. This is now theme. I had a this is a very confusing name. Much better. What is this? Dude, I just what all did I change? Yeah, just check it out. Awesome. Now there was a DAO here, right? It was here. Mm, okay. Actually, I really want to see it done. Uh, Otherwise, I would have just like I would have added flow to the DB and like this is how I would have the response would have been, but it's never too late. After I'm done, I will polish this app a little bit, and in that I will clean the code and I'll refactor it then. So repository is done. No, repository I have to make. Mm. Those are all implemented files. I should not be doing that. But okay. API key, I don't need query, I need. Mm. I. Hmm. Again, it started with recipe by ID, insert and all. Okay. Now, wow, so much. Nice. And we get recipes, get recipe ID, insert recipe, delete recipe. That is will be like ID, title, description, image, tags, and favorites. What carried away? Update favorites. ID, insert by recipes. Okay, delete recipe. Delete recipe. Update recipe. Update favorites. And yeah, get favorite recipes. Yes. Recipes. Okay, these all I don't get random recipes. Maybe I can use somewhere. Random favorite, and I'm definitely not doing it. Random favorite. 2, 3, 4 functions for all of it. So get recipe with detail by flow, which is get recipe with detail. I think volume makes a difference. Fine. Three of them, one more is missing. Get recipe with details by ID. Look at recipe. Okay, fine. Now this till here. Which also is too much. But just like that. Got room DB now. And this data now in domain I'll have to put use cases. Hmm. From the DB I am what am I really putting here? I'm not putting anything. With data store, what I've done is I put in states, okay, because it is IO. So for DB also I have to do the same, obviously. In this now, do I need a? I think this remains the same. Okay. Let's just start, bro. It's too generic. Now to start figuring it out. Uh, because it is not available in domain. So I have to create a mapper now. So I'll create a not let us see the Gradle file. Because this has core and data. Data has storage. Storage has the object. So I'll create an object in the core library for I created a class in features, I remember, called recipe. I was using that class to add dummy data. So should have the recipe table things, right? So title, description, URL. I need tags. Favorites I'll need. Let's add that. See, I'll search. I'll get from the DB. I'll get it. Then when I click on it, because there's a favorite section, it'll obviously have favorites. So indicating it there, it doesn't make sense. When I do search in the search page, I will do both local search and internet search, and I'll combine them. So in that, me knowing if it is a favorited recipe or not makes mm, search page. Should I show or should I not show? Let's just keep it here. Oh, tags though never comes into picture, right? This is in no scenario am I going to use this. On the home, I might no, I'll just add some UI. Look all right. Cool. DVD. All right. This is the recipes. Now, by default, it's obviously false because it's not true. Now, I've done this. Now in nah. This I can't do it here naturally. I have to do it in the repository. This is in data. Let me think about this, where the mapper is going, I'm going to put, and then we'll come back.